Hello everybody and welcome back to Higher Learning Test Prep's online video tutorial series. Today we're going to take a look at a question that was brought to us by a student who was wondering how to do this question. It seems pretty tricky at first, but I think in time this is going to show itself to be a rather doable question. If you think you can do it on your own, feel free to pause the video now and then pick the video back up once you think you've got the answer. Okay, so we're going to get started here. Now, this is an example of a geometry question where they give you some information and somehow we have to use this information even though the information doesn't seem that useful at first. That is, like, if we look at this 30 degrees here, it may seem kind of random that they're giving us that bit of information. It doesn't seem that useful. Or you might think, well, I remember that 30, 60, 90s are a big deal on the test, so if I were to continue this line, I would get a 60-degree angle here because it's a triangle and we have a 90 and a 30, so that must be a 60. Now I'm going to use what I know about the proportions of the triangle in order to figure this out. Well, that would be a really inefficient way of doing this problem because it's the time test. Because we're looking for the perimeter of the figure. And if we determine the side lengths including this dotted line, then we have to get rid of that dotted line somehow, which maybe, well, I won't say maybe, it is doable, but it's going to be a very, very time-consuming way of doing this question. What's actually easier than doing it that way? It's just filling in a different line. We're going to make a different triangle. That's this triangle down here. We're going to make a dotted line that goes across and completes our square and gives us this triangle here as well. Well, because these are right angles here, we know that if this is 6, this is also 6, if we're to presume that we're making another right angle at the bottom here. Now, again, because we're making a new right angle, a new line that is perpendicular to our sides over here, if this angle measure is 30 degrees, then this one here is 60. And the same thing goes over here. And now we have the key bit of information. Perhaps if you understand at this point, you can pause the video again and try to solve the problem from here. With that being said, if we know that this is 60 and this is 60, well, in our triangle here, because it must add up to 180, this is also 60 degrees. Now we know we have an equilateral triangle that we've formed with our dotted line and these two diagonal lines. If this is 6 on our equilateral triangle, these side lengths are also 6. And now we have all the information we need. The perimeter of the figure is this side, and this side, plus these two as well. So 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 times 5, the perimeter of this figure is 30. Now, that's a problem that seems easy once we've made this dotted line part of the situation. And at first, that dotted line wasn't there, and the question seemed a little bit strange. I want you guys to notice that this was a question that did not have a triangle in it, but a triangle was the most important bit of information we could use to solve this question. So what we've done here is we've taken our knowledge of the SAT, that is that on geometry questions, they're always going to be relatively straightforward in terms of the material that they're using. They may ask you to stack information on top of each other, but what is at the heart of this problem is some very basic geometry, equilateral triangle, and counting up the side lengths of a perimeter, also obviously a square. So if you have any other questions, get in touch with us. We'll be happy to make a video for you, letting you know exactly how we think you should do any given problem on the SAT or ACT. Also, get in touch at higherlearningtestprep.com if you'd like any one-on-one private tutoring or any help of any kind on these tests. Thank you very much and take care.